For 3,000 years, everyone who ever read Homer's Odyssey has been picturing the wrong island. Not a fictional island, not a metaphorical one. An actual, real place, the homeland of the most famous wanderer in Western literature. And for 3 millennia, we may have been pointing at completely the wrong spot on the map. In July 2026, just days before Christopher Nolan's new film brought Odysseus back to the big screen, 2 scholars quietly published a paper that could rewrite one of the oldest mysteries in ancient history. This is the story of how they found it. To understand why this matters, you need to understand a problem that has haunted Homeric scholars since antiquity. The Odyssey tells us in extraordinary geographic detail exactly what Ithaca, Odysseus's home, looks like. Homer says it's low-lying. He says it faces west toward the setting sun. He says it's the furthest island out to sea, with its neighbors clustered to the east, facing the dawn. There's just one problem. The island that has carried the name Ithaca for over 2,000 years doesn't match a single one of those details. Modern Ithaki is mountainous, not low-lying. It faces east, not west. And it isn't even the furthest island out. That title belongs to its much larger neighbor, Cephalonia. For archaeologists, it gets worse. Other places from Homer's world, Troy, Mycenae, Pylos, have all been found, excavated, confirmed. Real Bronze Age cities lie beneath them. Ithaki has been searched for over 150 years, and nothing Mycenaean has ever turned up. So scholars have been left with an uncomfortable question. What if the island called Ithaca today simply isn't the Ithaca Homer was describing? This isn't a brand new mystery. In 2005, a British management consultant named Robert Bittlestone proposed a radical answer. He pointed to Paliki, a peninsula on the western edge of the island of Cephalonia. Unlike modern Ithaki, Paliki actually fits Homer's description. It's low, it faces west, and it sits at the very edge of the island group, exactly where Homer says Ithaca should be. There was just one catch. Today, Paliki isn't an island. It's permanently attached to Cephalonia by a strip of land. So Bittlestone made a bold claim. What if, 3,000 years ago, that strip of land didn't exist? What if Paliki used to be cut off from Cephalonia by a narrow channel of open sea? A channel that later collapsed, filled in by earthquakes and landslides, fusing 2 islands into one? It was an elegant theory. Geologists, classicists, and Homer scholars all took notice. But for 20 years, one crucial piece was still missing. Solid proof that the channel Bittlestone imagined ever existed at all. That's where Professor John Underhill comes in, a geologist at the University of Aberdeen who spent over 2 decades physically studying the ground beneath Paliki. And in July 2026, alongside Cambridge classicist James Diggle, he published findings that changed the entire shape of the argument. The geology, it turns out, tells a more nuanced story than anyone expected. There's no evidence of an open marine channel, no ancient strait for ships to sail through. But there is clear evidence of something else, a lowland valley, repeatedly flooded, drained, and reshaped by water moving across it for thousands of years. And this is where Diggle's philology becomes the missing piece. Diggle went back to Homer's original Greek, line by line, and noticed something scholars had overlooked for 2,000 years. Homer had dozens of opportunities to simply call Ithaca an island, using the ordinary Greek word for it, Nasos. He never does. Instead, Homer consistently calls it Gaia, land, or Patras, homeland. Subtle distinctions that add up to something significant. Even more telling, in the Iliad, Homer describes Odysseus as leader of the gallant Cephalenians, the people of Cephalonia, not the people of some separate island called Ithaca. For centuries, that detail was treated as a loose poetic label. But if Ithaca was always part of Cephalonia, not a separate island beside it, That detail suddenly makes perfect sense. Underhill's geology and Diggle's philology, developed independently, arrived at the same place. Ithaca wasn't a separate island that later joined Cephalonia through some geological accident. It may never have needed to be an island at all. It could simply have been a low-lying western region of Cephalonia, a territory the Greeks knew, worked, and sailed around, without ever thinking of it as cut off by open sea. Ancient Bronze Age settlement evidence at Paliki's Livati Marsh, potentially the harbor Odysseus himself would have sailed into, adds one more thread connecting the theory to solid ground. So what does this actually change? For one, it repositions a real place on the map. If the researchers are right, the true Ithaca of Homer isn't the small island tourists visit today. It's this quieter western corner of Cephalonia, a place most people have never heard of. It also reframes how we should read the Odyssey itself. Homer wasn't writing vague, imagined geography. He may have been describing a real landscape with real precision so accurate that scholars are still decoding it 3,000 years later. And the timing could not be more fitting. As Christopher Nolan's Odyssey brought Matt Damon's Odysseus back into theaters worldwide, the actual physical search for his homeland reached what may be its most convincing chapter yet. The researchers are careful to say this doesn't prove Odysseus was a real person, or that the Trojan War happened exactly as described. What it does suggest is something almost more remarkable, that buried inside one of the oldest stories ever told is a memory of an actual place, encoded in words, waiting 3,000 years to be read correctly. Troy was once dismissed as myth until someone dug in the right spot. Maybe Ithaca was never lost at all. Maybe we were just standing in the wrong place, looking for it. If you enjoyed this journey into one of history's oldest unsolved mysteries, subscribe to History Max, because some stories take 3,000 years to finish telling.